Studio Improv webinar for Thursday classes. Woo! Right. So I'm going to talk.
We won the
too
prize.
much. Too much.
You
Way
asked
too loud.
You asked
Hurt
for
my
it.
ears.
You asked for
I
it.
did not. That
You
hurt.
did.
That hurt.
Here's the thing: when you say very first anything, there should be an air horn after it.
No, there shouldn't. There should
Yeah.
not be.
No, he's got a point.
And
Yeah,
maybe
thank you,
like
Dakota.
a low-level air
Thank
horn.
you.
Hi, Joey.
Hello, everyone.
Hi, Joey.
It's good to see all of your faces again. Week 3. Lots of scenes gonna go up tonight. It's gonna be dope.
Oh yeah, we got some cool plans.
It's gonna be
tonight.
good.
Hey, Dakota, just to let you know really quickly, I'm just going to rename you to just Dakota because we have George in here with us tonight.
Oh,
And
you're
I
right.
don't-
Didn't even think about
Yeah,
that.
don't.
I just don't want Brian to get confused because there's a big chance that he will.
What do you mean?
I'm just really
Hey,
glad that she used Brian.
Let me start with I'm not the one doing that. Let me start.
No.
there. And-
Here, let me just. Yeah,
I'm just
Jay.
saying that sometimes, Brian gets a little confused. I mean, we had a mom, like a kid's mom's name, and I try to get in there and change them. And Brian the other day, it was so funny. Brian was like, I don't know what
Change
it was.
the names.
Who's Jen? When did Jen join our class? Like, it's not
What are you
Jen.
gonna do? I go off the names. Come on.
That's awesome.
All right.
Hi,
All right.
George, by the way. Miss
So
Hey.
George is in with us tonight. It's awesome.
Lord.
Woo!
Yes.
you. Woo, George.
And we got Wyatt and Isabel back, which is great. Woo!
Hey.
Yeah.
And also, Alicia, you weren't here last week, is that right?
I was not.
Okay, cool. So we've got Alicia back as well. All right. So here's what we're going to do tonight. All right. So if you weren't here last week, basically what we're doing is we're building on the characters we've been working on. So for tonight, since you weren't here last week, you're going to create a character when you're in the waiting area who has a name, voice, attitude, posture using the VAP method, voice, attitude, posture. And you're going to develop that character a little bit, and they're going to come into scenes with other characters. For everyone who was here last week, you have been pre-assigned with other characters from last week, and you will be doing scenes with those characters. So I will remind you of who your characters were last week, but now you're going to get to further develop those characters inside of scenes in here. So I'll make a couple little changes here for those who are not here, and then we'll get going on that right away. So I'll first just go through and remind you all of your characters, remind our audience that's going to be watching of what characters you're going to be seeing. So we've got Nick, who is Humphrey Hanks, a.k.a. a guy who thinks that he can go through time, basically, is Humphrey's deal.
Danny,
Can
can you bring me the beret again, please?
Oh, we'll get there. We'll get there, George. Don't you worry.
I was very curious if I was gonna have to mute him, and then I found out it was a character choice.
It's a character
and he
choice.
was
You'll
being
see.
very silly.
You'll see.
Get the
Tyler
beret.
is Chris Macklin, a.k.a. the third-string QB, who wants to be an actor but is afraid to tell his dad about it.
Yes, sir. I'm not getting drafted tonight.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And then it doesn't look like Mom's in here yet, so you might want to reach out to her. Hannah is Cara Marie Pastel, a.k.a. the person who is afraid that the government is after her continuously. So at all times, she thinks that she's being spied on by the government because of her freak piano accident. And we've got Truman as Trishy Chandler, a.k.a. Trashy Trishy. Trashy Trishy has quite a Instagram following unintentionally, I mean, and she basically just hoards and goes after trash and collects it. So that's wonderful. Okay, and Sarah, you are Svetlana Numezgitov, right? Is that right? Numezgitov? Okay.
You must get off.
Umezgidov. Okay. And Dakota, we have Arthur Wilson, the British intelligent scholar, I guess. Who's just kind of pretending a little bit, I think, but I'm not quite sure. And of course, Svetlana is probably with the mafia. I'm pretty sure. Like, I'm not 100%, but I'm pretty sure she's with the mafia. George is Jacques Soufflé. Jacques Soufflé, is
I love it.
he's French. He's a ladies' man, and he owns a French bistro. We have
Dude, I haven't heard that word in a long time.
bistro.
Bistro.
Great. Oh,
Ladies?
yeah.
That was like a trend for a while.
Big time. Big
There
time.
was like so many bistros. I haven't heard of any bistros.
Well, he brought it back. And we've got Connor, who's lovely Schaefer, an old Jewish grandma who's sassy and owns her own donut shop. So her and Jacques have some stuff in common.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Well, it's
yeah.
lovey, not lovely, but it's okay.
Lovely? Was it lovely?
No, lovey.
Lovey. Lovey. Let me fix that. Okay. Lovey. Great.
Love it.
Okay. So those are the characters that we built upon last week. So I'm going to start assigning those in scenes. If you weren't here last week, when you are over in the waiting area, you're going to come up with a character. I'd like you to do that here right at the beginning so that as soon as you have one, then you can just continue to watch and grow by just seeing everybody else's performances. Okay? So we're going to get right into it tonight, guys. I want to get right into scenes just like we talked about last week. So our first pairing here, let's see, is going to be Hannah and Truman, our two crazies, and the rest are going to head out. So Hannah and Truman are going to be our first scene, and then we'll start going through. If you weren't here last week, come up with some characters, and we'll find out who you're going to be partnered with and what your scene's going to be. For everybody watching, we're building on a character exercise we did last week that built upon the one from the week before that. Voice, attitude, posture. So every single character should have a voice, an attitude, and a posture to them. The voice can be changed in any way. It can be an accent. It could go higher, lower. It's some sort of vocal tone that changes from being your normal self.
What happened?
Attitude is emotion or feeling, and
Mom?
P is physicality or posture that we would add to the character as well. What is
That's your Apple Watch?
it's my Apple
What?
Watch. Joey just got me.
Hey, when did you
I
get
didn't-
an
I did
Apple
not
Watch,
add calling
Brian?
to it. That is amazing that Joey got me that, but I don't know
Yeah,
how to stop it. Mom is calling, so you might want to call her.
She's probably
You might wanna call
struggling
her.
with technology
Yeah,
as
yeah.
she does
Once we get this started, give
every
her a call.
week.
All right.
Okay.
So you guys are going to be in a scene together. Okay. So what we don't know is why. What we don't know is why. We are two crazies. We definitely know that for different reasons, both very eccentric. So let's go through a couple situations. I'm going to throw some at different people, but I wanted to brainstorm a couple with you guys. What are some whys you think for why you two might be in conversation for each other? How might you know each other?
I could be like looking through her trash and she just like was questioning me, thinking I'm part of the government.
Okay. So that could work. That could totally work. The one thing that we want to be cautious of, and this is for everybody, is we want to find some sort of relationship that has a history to it, usually. Now, there are some scenes where that's okay. So we're going to test this out and see how it goes for a second. But probably we're going to want something with a history, because otherwise we get stuck in just the situation itself. So I'm going to let this roll, and we'll see how it goes, because sometimes it does end up working without that. But typically when we start going through these, I want everyone to start thinking about something in which you might know each other for a long period of time, for some way, shape, or form. Okay?
Okay.
So we'll start off every scene like this. I'm going to go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then the scene will begin. Okay? It is your job, and everybody listening should be noting this right now. It is your job to be thinking about a strong initiation statement. So your initiation statement is what allows the other person to know exactly where you're at right in that moment. Normally, that would be something where you could get out who you are, where you are, and what's going on. In this initiation statement, you're really just helping them understand what's happening right now. Okay? You're helping them understand what's happening right now or heightening the relationship. Okay? You guys ready?
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Our scene will begin in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Ma'am, do you have any better collectible bins? This one does not seem to have anything.
What are you doing?
I'm looking for some art and collectibles. That's what I do.
Who told you to do that?
No one. I'm looking for like something to put in my house, you know?
Did someone send you?
I sent myself. Do you have any bins that I could look at?
No, I want you off my property.
What if? Why? No one else has a problem with me taking their stuff.
I don't know what you're gonna use it for. DNA samples?
No, I'm not that smart. I'm just looking for some art.
Okay, good. So I'll pause it here. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
So I wanted you to feel that. I wanted you to get a feel for what that's like. Because here's the thing. Then you get stuck on only the things. You get stuck on like, all right, I can only talk about the trash and why you don't want me to have the trash and why I do want the trash.
Yeah.
So instead, what's a reason these two would want to be on a phone call together? Would want to.
Oh, okay. So it's from, like, we're acting like we're not in the same room?
You could be, or it could be phone call. Either way, actually.
Okay.
So what's a reason they would want to be together, I guess? And using this medium, if you can come up with an over-the-phone one, I think it would make a lot of sense because your character doesn't want to leave their house, especially, Hannah.
Yeah.
So what would be a reason that you would want to video chat with this person specifically?
We could do, like a conspiracy, like, you know those groups that they, like, meet on the internet and they have, like, a blog?
Yes,
And they're,
absolutely.
like, and it could, like, involve, like, the government in trash. And then she's just on because she likes trash.
Yes, and you guys know each other and you've been on this chat for years together.
Yeah.
Okay? So now you're logging on and you log on always together and it's a thing you guys do. And this is like a part of your week. You know each other's names. So do you know his name?
Weird.
You know his name?
Trishy.
Okay, and do you know her name?
It's
I do not remember it.
It's Kara.
is
Kara?
Kara.
Okay.
Kara.
I can.
Kara,
Yeah.
Marie, Pastel, and Trashy Trish.
That's right.
You can call me Crepe. It's totally
All right, you guys ready? We're logging into this chat. We're super psyched about it. This is the one thing you weirdos look forward to.
okay.
All right. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Oh my God! Hi, Kara. How have you been?
I'm doing all right. I didn't know you were going to be on. Do you have any new information?
Well, I found some good stuff in the dumpster the other day, but I didn't see anybody there, so I don't know.
There wasn't any message? You didn't find anything?
Well, there's a sign that said "Keep Out." I don't really know what that was about.
Do you remember what the location was? I
No.
think we should go back there. If the government wants us out of it, then there has to be something we can't know.
Sorry.
So pause. I want us to have a lesson from this, Truman. So if that happens, I want you to use it.
Okay.
So it's like when we're on stage, there are all kinds of happy accidents that happen, right? So there's been times where I'm on stage and like a baby starts crying. And Joey, one time we were in a show, he referenced that baby, and then I became the baby on stage. So like things happen. So in this video format, the same thing will happen. You can use it as a gift. Now, going back, we're getting stuck again talking about the stuff, Hannah.
Sorry, yeah, I noticed that.
So I know she's crazy. I know that's the case, but you two are both crazy. So you talk about it a little bit, but also you genuinely enjoy each other's crazy company.
Okay.
So it could be anything. It's like discover something within that relationally that we would want to see progress. Okay? All right, let's take it back. Here we go. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, action.
How you doing?
I'm all right. I mean, hung out with my friends all week, but we should hang out sometimes.
I don't think I don't know enough about you. Even though we've been talking for like 8 years.
So let's go back a second. Let's try. I just don't know if I'm ready.
Okay. I don't know if I'm ready.
Why? It's
Because
like,
someone could have implanted like a little chip on you. Like, I don't want any of the outside world coming in.
you can come to my house. It's a little packed, but I think we can make you fit.
Do you live alone?
Yeah. I mean, there's some animals every once in a while, but I live alone.
Any
Come
neighbors
over.
trapped?
What?
What?
What? Why are you acting? You've never acted like this before. Well, that's not true.
I don't know why you would ask for me to come over. I think what we have is perfectly fine.
But like, what if we hung out? You know, like as friends, because that's what friends do.
Good. So I wanted to take it back there. So you want to hear the real last thing. What did she say? What we have right now is perfectly fine. Is it okay with you, Truman, and your character?
No.
Okay, that's what you speak on. Ready? 3,
Yeah.
2, 1. Right from there. Action.
I don't think it's perfectly fine.
Why not?
I don't know. Most people, when they're friends, like to hang out, and you never do. And you're my closest friend.
I'd like to hang out. It's not that I don't want to.
So then why don't you come over? If you want to, you might as well, right?
I've worked really hard to be off the grid, so
Well, I found you.
it's because I let you.
And scene. Yes. Okay. Did you feel the difference? Yeah?
Yeah.
There's more to go off of.
There's so much more. So much more. So this is any scene you ever walk into, no matter what. There has to be a relationship behind it. There has to. And the reason is it gives us a foundation to build on. So then we found out why we were here. Truman was tired of just video chatting. So watching your character want to do it, want to hang out, but not be able to, was so fun to watch. Because now we had two conflicting point of views, but honestly, you did want to hang out with him. You're just terrified that something bad will happen. Like, we watched the conflict in your eyes as you tried to figure out whether or not you would do it or wouldn't. And you landed on wouldn't because you can't, but watching your struggle was really entertaining. And then we got to the point where that was where your laugh is, right there. Right there at that last line. Guaranteed you get this laugh, but you built a relationship we care about. So now you've earned that laugh. You've earned it. And from there, it's just going to keep building. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Good job, guys. Nice work.
Thank you.
Is Mom back?
Mom is back.
Okay. Then let's go ahead and bring in Vicky, a.k.a. Brian and Joey's mom, and Tyler Weeks. So that is Daisy May and Chris Macklin.
Oh man, this is gonna be one.
This
is gonna be one that's
Macklin.
for
Have
the
that to write down.
Oh my gosh.
Goodness, this is wonderful.
You did not.
This
you did
is
not just do that.
Wonderful.
She is not wearing a cowboy hat. She is.
So
she
Daisy
really
is 21, and you are also in college, Tyler. And Daisy is a ladies' man.
Wait, did you say Daisy is a ladies' man?
Or backwards. I said it backwards. She's a.
I gotta get out.
He's a ladies' man, and she is a boy crazy girl. So we're gonna find out how this goes. Here we go. I don't know how we know each other yet, right? So logically, now that we know the details of this, what do we think might be the case? How might we know each other?
It's probably a mom's friend.
Mom's friend? Okay. So why would we hang out together? What do you think?
I don't feel comfortable talking about my dad with my mom, so I probably have to go to a friend to do that. And she probably was there for me for my whole childhood to do it.
Good. I love that. So initiate with something very powerful that lets us know right where you're at in that. Because an audience wouldn't know that, right? So how could you in one sentence let us know exactly what you wanted us to know? Okay?
Okay.
All right. Here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hey, Daisy, I mean, thank you for coming to talk to me today. Daisy, I think you need to put your earpiece in.
Is it working, the audio?
Oh my goodness. All right, are we gonna have to make it? You know what? I'm gonna make this a thing. This is gonna be fun.
Hold on.
All right.
Hey, Daisy, I guess I'm just talking to a blank wall here.
All right, here we go. This is gonna be great.
Hold on.
But I mean, I just got so much to say, and I mean, if you can't hear me, I guess it means my dad can't hear me too, so I guess that's good. But I just feel so much pressure from football. I just don't know how long I can do it anymore.
Okay, pause. Tyler, I freaking love it. I freaking love it. It's so good.
Thank you.
And this pairing is so good. So we're gonna. Are you able to help her really quick? If not, then we're gonna switch.
Oh yeah, and
Nope, it's connecting.
This is ridiculous.
It's connecting.
hey,
There
mom,
you go.
you had to turn your audio on.
You're connected. Good. You're good.
I did. It says join audio.
Yep.
Yep,
doing it
you
now.
just did it.
Now
Woo.
I can't see anything. It says phone call.
Hang up.
Okay, I'm hanging up.
Join with.
There we go.
Okay,
It's connecting the audio. Here we go.
mother.
Are you there?
Can you hear me?
Yep. We are good. All right.
All right.
Love the initiation. Let's start again from the top. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, action.
Hey, Daisy, I mean, thank you for having me today. You know, I just don't know who else to go to right now.
Well, I'm sure glad you came to me. You know, I'm beside myself that you called and that you would put that trust into me.
I mean, no, thank you, because, in a time like this, I can't really turn to my mom. She thinks I'm still starting quarterback, so I just feel comfortable coming to you right now.
Yeah, well, we don't want her to find out now, do we? I can keep a secret. I can keep a secret.
Can you? Because I got a pretty big secret right now.
Oh, I can't wait to help. Just one moment, because I got to get my little drink of lemonade, because it helps me.
All right, pour yourself a little lemonade.
Oh, I feel much better now, honey. Can I get you one? Oh, good, you got one.
I got my own lemonade right here. You made me lemonade ever since I was growing up.
I'm getting so old, I forgot I already gave you one, honey. But mine was gone.
Miss Daisy, you gave me the recipe long ago, ma'am.
Oh, okay. I'm so glad you like it. Now, what's the secret I can keep for you, honey? And see if I can give you some of the Southern advice.
Ma'am, I guess my big thing is that, we got a big game coming up this week, and, my dad, being as drunk as he always is, I made a fool of myself and told him I was a starter for the team, but I'm not. And I just have a fear that he's coming to my game. So if you want to help me on the inside, and if you want to tell him that, maybe just stay at home, that'd be a big help for me.
You know what I could do? I could invite him over, and we all could have like some drinks, and then he'd be so excited with the drinks and the hors d'oeuvres that we make here in my house.
Yes, ma'am, I've had those.
We have some crawdads and those crabby cakes. So yeah, they just
it reminds me of back home, ma'am.
Yeah, I'm just hunkering down. And in fact, I'm thinking right now that I might need to be like getting ready for some of those, a tasting of those little treats. Maybe you could join me tonight.
Yes, ma'am. I mean, I'm right down the road, so I can come down and help you a little bit. Get my father a little drunk so he watches that game. He don't even know what number's out there. He might just think it's me.
Yeah, and my television set's never on anyway, honey, because I entertain the people. So I don't need no use for no television here in my home.
Well, you know what, Mrs. Daisy, you might just be my cheerleader. You can just be the entertainment.
I got a new hairdo too. Do you like it? I had it all curly and wavy just for you, and my new hat with the collar. So,
Mrs. Daisy, I love that new hat. You know what? That hat really brings out that shirt you're wearing too.
Yeah, and
that is a perfect color for you.
It's the best kind. It's red. It does bring out my eyes, doesn't it, honey?
It really does. It really does. It brings out that lipstick too. matching that little bandana.
Good. Pause. I love what's happening. So, Mom, keep laying down. Keep hitting on him even more, like make it more and more obvious.
Okay.
Yeah. It's great. So just keep heightening it. So she's slowly like building now. So like just start laying it out there a little more. And Tyler,
Okay.
deal with that however you will.
All
Okay.
right.
All right.
Never did I ever think I would hear
I
you
know, right?
tell mom to hit on somebody
Me neither.
more.
Me neither.
It's all right, honey. Trust me, I know how to.
Okay.
And you know how to? All right. Well, I mean, if I'm playing quarterback, you know, every quarterback needs a good lady.
I gonna bring a uniform with you, honey. I like uniforms, you know, especially them tight shoulder pads and, you know, the way they wear those, well, I call them leggings, but they're not leggings. They're just so tight, you know, you can see all the bumps and all those muscles. Oh my goodness.
I mean,
Oh,
Miss Days, if I know any better, I think you're hitting on me right now.
Oh, don't say that, honey. I mean, seriously, I'm a little old for you, don't you think? But then again, you know, I still haven't found the true one, you know.
I mean, Miss Daisy, I think you look like a freshman in college just like I do.
Thank you so much. I mean, seriously. And I love the hairdo you're phrasing right now with the throwback, you know. Yeah. Just do that again for me, sweetheart. That
Yes,
just
ma'am. Just that? Yes, ma'am.
Oh my goodness.
Cut.
sweet.
All right,
I'm
good.
getting chills.
Good work. Okay, how'd it feel, guys?
It felt really comfortable being with someone else.
Yeah.
You know, it just feels natural.
It did kind of feel natural. I wasn't sure about how it was going to go tonight, you know. So I mean, I didn't know what the scene would be. I thought I'd still like be on the farm, which I did end up being, so that kind of helped. So I wasn't out somewhere else with this silly outfit I put on tonight.
Well,
Actually,
Miss Daisy, you played a sweet Southern belle. Let me tell you what.
Well, thank you. You know, I'm thinking of keeping this as my look. What do you think, boys?
Not
Absolutely.
bad.
Yep.
I'll tell you. All right, so Tyler, you said it was more comfortable, right?
Yes.
Tell me about that.
So I guess just going off of what other people are saying, you know, like a big challenge you gave to me about 3-4 weeks ago is just to listen better.
Yes.
So a big thing was just listening to what she had to say. And rather than
Absolutely.
like thinking I had to say stuff, listening to her and be like, maybe I can be creative and take it this way, you know? So that really
Absolutely.
helped me with her.
Totally. And I felt it
tried
both ways.
I tried to do the same thing because I was listening to what he was giving me, and then I just went with it.
Absolutely. And both of you did. Both of you were laying stuff down. Like, it was subtle hints. So I want you to realize at some point that's where I dropped in and had you heighten it, right? We wanted to know one way or the other where this was going to go. Like, and I was very surprised by the choice to say yes, honestly. I was very surprised by that. I was like, dang! Like, did not expect that. I expected you to feel, like, awkward by it, and no. So whether you were doing it, like, because you liked her or because you were playing a game to try and get your dad away, like, I'm now interested to find out the why behind that and get into that. So very good job, guys. The small thing I have is being aware of just maybe giving a little less when we're throwing something at the other person so they don't have as much to deal with within the sentence. So when you watch this back, notice there was a few lines, Mom, and also with you, like where you went and threw out a bunch at once, and then the partner has to deal with all that stuff, right?
Okay.
So Daisy,
Yeah.
and Daisy is a really high energy character, so it's really hard with high energy characters
It
to
was.
just throw one piece out there, because
Okay.
a lot of time those characters throw out a bunch. And
Yeah.
so you want to work on bringing that down, keeping the energy, and just throwing one thing back at him. Okay?
And I know because I had trouble with that because I was practicing a lot, you know. In fact, you can ask the people that live here in the house. They're talking Southern right now. And so I just was having some trouble with that because they're so high energy that they speak so much.
It is.
at a
It is.
time.
So that's where, as an actor, you have to balance being a character and also being the actor. So the actor knows that in order for the scene to progress the right way, we go back and forth. The character would maybe go a little more, so you just have to keep the energy in the core of the character while maintaining what you need to do as an actor as well.
I see. Okay.
Yeah, very good job, guys. I very much enjoyed it. Thank you.
Thanks.
Daisy, you're awesome.
Good work.
Thanks, Tyler.
All right. Our next two here are going to be Sarah and Dakota. Sarah and Dakota, a.k.a. Svetlana. I mean, get off. I'll let her tell us. And Arthur Wilson. I get it wrong every time. So really quick, while they're coming in, the big lesson there was two things. One, that initiation was so strong by Tyler. So when you have this idea in your mind, you want to throw it out there to your partner right away. So he had this idea of, okay, here's what's going on with my character. Here's why I'm talking to you as the other character. When you initiate, you want it to be very clear exactly what that is. And based on that, they were able to build a really strong scene together. And the other thing is just making sure that when we're listening, we just throw little things at each other back and forth that we can deal with and realize at what point in the scene does it need to progress to something new, which in their case happened to be flirting at a heightened level. Cool. Do we have Dakota in there?
It says joining ...
Joining ...
Joining ...
Well, then
means
while
that
he's
somebody
joining,
doesn't have great connection.
That's
so
cool.
it's like they'll be fine when they're in, but
Yeah.
it's taking a little time to think. You know what I'm saying?
Sarah can give me the name specifically one more time.
It's Svetlana. You
Exactly.
must get off. I
It's
believe.
like, yeah, like in English, you must get off.
You must get off. Okay. Got this. Svetlana. And tell us a little bit about Svetlana while we're waiting for Dakota here.
She grew up in St. Petersburg, Russia. Her father had a successful business there. He was really connected politically. And also, she and her husband have a lot of political and business ties, but they moved to New York City for a better life. And she likes to have things just so. And she has kind of a chip on her, or not, like she's frustrated that people always blame things on Russians or on her family, or blame her for their problems.
Got it. Cool. Love that. Are they locked yet?
It still says joining ... Oh, I'll admit him again. We'll see.
Try one more time. If he doesn't come in, I'm going to throw
DG.
you with a different partner.
Ah, there he is.
There he is.
There's the guy.
Hey.
Arthur
Sorry about
Wilson.
Arthur Wilson. Give us a quick little synop refresher for the audience of Arthur Wilson.
Arthur Wilson is from Brighton. He tends to think of himself as fairly intelligent, yet he wants to think a little higher above and have people think for themselves rather than spew up information. He's pretty knowledgeable in a good bit of like the sciences and like aspects of that, and he's a musician.
Okay.
And he's just kind of just does what he wants and like kind of says what he wants. He doesn't really have too many cares in the world.
Okay, cool. So give me, please, what from either of you. Now we know the two of you. We know sort of both of your characters. How would they know each other? What's the situation that they might know each other? Why might they know each other?
I think I would hire him to do something for me, like maybe to do some research, or what instrument do you play?
He just pretty much plays a lot of stuff. There isn't one really that he kind of sticks down to. I guess he plays mostly stringed instruments.
Okay.
Okay, let's pick a specific stringed instrument, Dakota.
We'll go with bass.
Bass.
Yeah.
Okay.
He loves the bass. Okay. So Dakota's character is the bass player for you and your family. Has been for 10 years. Like basically like all the time. He would travel to Russia to do stuff for you guys, and now that you're in America, he travels there to do that for you. He just travels to play. Okay. And he also happens to be very intelligent, so he gets along with your family, gets along with the political sides that you guys have. So we have a long-term friendship in that way. What we don't know is why are you in the room together? Why? And that's what I'm curious.
What's your character's name again?
Arthur Wilson.
Arthur Wilson. Okay, cool.
And I'm sorry, what's your character's name again?
Svetlana.
Svetlana?
You can call me Sveti for short.
Sveti.
Yeah.
Okay, so in 5 seconds, one of you is going to start with a strong initiation that's going to let us know exactly exactly why you guys are on the conversation together right now. Okay? Here we go. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Well, Arthur, you understand why I'm so frustrated with these people right now.
Yes, I do understand your conundrum. They are not a good group of people. We'll give them that.
Well, I show you know me. We pay you good money. We pay all the musicians good money, and now these little viola players, they run off like this. That's not okay. That is not okay.
No, it's not. You know, I could try to find them if you're willing to help me.
Arthur, I think that is very good idea. This is very good idea. You find them for me, and you make them pay.
Yes. Now, how much are you willing to pay me for this? Or am I just doing this because?
Oh, Arthur, you know that I value your time. You are like the most smartest bass player I know. You are worth it to me.
Well, I am pretty smart. I'll give you that.
We will pay for all of your how you say per diem. We pay you.
I do like that. All right.
I don't want you to worry about anything, but I want this what his name is, Stefan.
Oh yes, Stefan.
He needs to pay.
I'll make him pay, all right. So now I understand, to the best of my knowledge, that you also deal in a bit of the underground work, correct? Little shady stuff here and there. Don't lie.
I do not want you to listen to those lies about me. You talk to my lawyer. We do everything. We do everything that the lawyers say. I say what the lawyer tells me to say.
Well, maybe your lawyer could help give me some leads on where they might be, so that I could probably find them a little bit easier than going off nothing that they play viola.
Good. I'll take it back a little bit. Okay.
Yeah.
Good. So I love that he is now actually a killer as well. I think that is so funny. So funny. So one of two things happens here. Either he is a killer or he's just misunderstanding the situation. One of the two. And we'll figure out which one. So the one line where it went a little off train was going back where you were asking about, like, I know that you do things underground, right? So the way this is sort of phrased, now I want to hear you guys talk in the underground language about killing this guy.
And that's where I was trying to go.
And yes, I could feel it. I could feel it's okay. So I want you to see that that's game. So now he presented a little bit of a game here, which is now let's talk using other terms about how we're going to kill this dude. And as an audience, we all know that's what's happening. But like if someone listened over the phone, technically you didn't say anything, right? Technically nothing was said that was bad. So you're now using it. So even Dakota was setting it up. We'd want to set it up in a way that like underground things, like I don't know like how you could phrase that so that it doesn't even sound as sketchy, but like things that people don't see as often, like I don't know, like something that doesn't like make it as obvious, you know?
Yeah, like maybe even like since the whole music, like musician terms, like coming to the end of.
Let's find out. Hold on, I'm gonna make it happen right now. So let's take that back to there. Go ahead and just do the underground thing, Dakota. Throw that ball out there and let's see what we can do. Let's see what game we can play here.
Now, I understand you deal with things on the more underground side of the business.
I am telling you, I know that you are a fine musician. And if you find a string on your bass that is not working, you pluck it off and throw it away.
Now ask about the string, yeah. Like this is going to be a thing.
But which kind of string is it? There are multiple strings on a bass. There's 4. Is it the G string?
Getting closer.
The E string?
I do believe that the last time I heard you play the E string, it was sharp.
Well, then we'll have to make it flat, won't we?
Go. Yes, you flatten that. You flatten that string. I do not want to hear from Stefan. I mean the E
The
string.
E string.
One more note.
I can do that. Maybe I could just throw out the whole bass, to be honest.
I think that is okay because we can always find another bass for you. Probably a long time.
And scene. Okay, do you guys see now?
Yeah.
That's basically all that is game. So we go, all right, I've now found this game. It's there. I want to play that game now. So you, in every scene you're in, I want you to look for that game. Like, just be aware, be listening. Is there an opportunity here to play game? Usually it comes through an unusual thing. But in this case, we're thinking like, all right, how can I find a way to keep extending this? And hearing you guys talk about the string was amazing. So the one little note against Sarah is I wouldn't bring up his name because I don't think she would accidentally slip the name going into character point of view. And we all know it's Stefan. We all know Stefan's going down. And so, like, if earlier they just happened to be talking about how annoying Stefan is and how we wish that he wasn't around, and now later we're talking about the string, the audience will connect the dots.
Okay.
Right? And it was, again, just so fun to watch you guys play that game. And then, again, now maybe we get rid of the whole bass, and this could just keep going. I mean, this game could keep getting played where you bring up other things. And we have another call later down the line where he's referencing something else that's not music. And like, we all know this guy's a trained killer, and it's hilarious.
Good job.
Yeah, that was. Oh, good job, Sarah. That was freaking awesome. I loved it.
Good work. Good work. And last thing I'll leave you with really quick before I send you guys out. Dakota, I loved that he became a killer.
Yeah.
And I'll talk to
Me
the
too.
audience about that. So that'll be in our live, but I'm going to talk about that to the audience. But just think on that. That was something that just happened organically. And so that's going to be my little lesson after this. But that's part of, you create this character, you have a point of view, and then you listen to each other and make choices along the way. Because I do believe he would do that.
And part of that too was like me knowing her character a little bit. Like I knew last time she was kind of shady stuff was happening, so I'm like, okay, so I'm in the mafia's house basically, and then it kind of just fell into place from there.
Cool.
So,
yeah, absolutely. Good job, guys.
Yeah.
Woo.
Thanks. Good job, Sarah.
Good.
All right, let's see here. Next for, did Brianna ever show up or no? Just real quick. No. Okay, let's do Nick, please, aka Humphrey Hanks. The
Are you gonna ever wait for me to hit the drum roll, or are you just gonna
go ahead and hit the drum roll, Joey?
No, I mean it's too late.
Go ahead. There's still a second person. Go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead. And next, with Nick is gonna be Alicia. Alicia, we don't know what her character is yet. We're going to find out. Oh my gosh, that's amazing. That's spectacular. So go ahead and bring in Alicia. Or actually, I'm sorry. Yeah, Alicia's fine.
She's already
in there. She's in there. Look good. Alicia, hi.
Hello.
Tell me, what is your character you came up with?
My character is named Willow Indigo.
Oh yes.
She's a rock and roller. She goes with the flow a lot. She's in a band and she's kind of like a hippie.
Okay. And Nick, would you remind the audience of your character really quick?
So my name's Humphrey Hanks. I'm a time traveler from the 1930s. At least I think I am, but nobody really knows if I really do or not.
Okay. How might these two know each other? Let's brainstorm.
Man, I wish I had a cricket sound effect.
That
there was nothing there.
Brainstorming's part of it. Takes a second.
Maybe she was, maybe I went to go see Woodstock and I saw her wearing a shirt that reminded me of it.
Okay.
And I started telling her about my travels.
Okay, cool. So if we do that, here's the thing with that. That goes back all the way over to Truman's scene in the beginning. The issue with that is we don't have a long-term sort of relationship together. Okay? So how can we create one? And I know this is challenging because he's a time traveler, right?
Yeah.
So that's fun, though. That's fun. We want to figure that out together. And so today, the audience, the people watching live, get to watch us create that together. So I'll bounce over and let's see, Alicia, what's a way that you would have known him for a while? So yes, he's traveled time, because you even said last week, Nick, that you pop back and forth in time. You go into different places. Like, so let's see. How could you know him? How old are you, Alicia?
I'm like teenager, so like my age.
Boom.
16,
Okay.
17.
What's a pretty logical example of how you know each other?
He could be like my father.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Your dad is a time traveler.
Okay.
Either really or he just thinks he is. I don't know. But your dad thinks he's a time traveler. Okay? So, Nick, you've just come back from time again. And I don't know why we're having this conversation. One of you is going to start with a very strong initiation that lets the other person know why we're having this conversation right now. Okay? Does that make sense?
Okay. Yep.
Here we go. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Dad, you told me you would take me to the concert last time you went, and you didn't take me.
Well, you know, sweetheart, I got a lot of work to do. I'm traveling all over the place. I just got back from 2332 up there in the future, and I got this little doohickey right here. Remember I showed you the other day? You didn't seem to care for it too much, though.
Good.
Yeah,
Too
you
much,
showed
Nick.
me.
Too much. Did you feel that?
Yep.
Okay, so let's
Yep.
go back. Let's start again from the top. Start again from the top. It's good.
You promised me that you would take me to the concert, that we were going to hang out, and you went back on your word.
Pause. Soak it in, Nick. Soak it in. You got a strong why for why you went back on your word. Tell her.
Well, you know, sweetheart, I got a lot of work to do. Traveling around time, taking care of important things.
You have all this time in the world, but why don't you have time for us?
Well, I do have time for you. I just need to schedule it better, I suppose.
We've been talking about this for months, Dad. You listen to my music and you're like, you know what you would like? This concert, and then you forgot about it.
Well, I think you forgot about me going back in time to look at Jimi Hendrix and Jim Morrison and telling you all about them. I brought you back a couple pictures and stuff, and you didn't seem to care too much about that. I was only gone for 2 weeks.
I like the pictures, but sometimes I want to hang out with you too.
Well, I keep telling you, come back with me. Jump in the time machine, we'll roll it off a cliff, you know, and when we get down to terminal velocity, we'll disappear and appear somewhere else. Be a good trip.
You know, Mom won't let me go with you.
Well, your mother has some reservations about what I do, but I was hoping you'd understand it a little bit better.
Maybe you could sneak me in next time.
I could do that.
Like,
You know, the
undercover mission, just the two of us. Hang out.
Well, I'd like that a lot, dear. What time period would you like to go to?
Let's go to the 80s. That's fun, right?
Well, I don't know why you want to go to the 80s. I mean, you half lived through the 80s, and so did I. There wasn't nothing too special back there. Why don't we go back to Roman times?
That's boring.
How is that boring? They invented roads, they invented architecture, they invented forms of government. You don't want to see that?
But I wanted to do some research for my music.
Well, sometimes you got to focus on things a little more important than your music. I'm trying to show you about history, the stuff that's really important, and all you care about is listening to hippy dippy stuff.
Why don't you listen to my hippy dippy stuff and then maybe you'd understand?
I tried to listen to it, but it just sounds like a bunch of noise, sweetheart.
And scene. Okay. So this relationship went very back and forth. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about the scene.
So I had a little bit of a hard time there trying to piece it together. And
Okay.
I'm also soaking wet because I'm wearing a leather jacket and it's very hot.
Yeah, it is. It is. I had to get rid of my leather jacket for the summer, so I feel you.
It felt like because he's a time traveler, it's very hard not to just talk about time travel the entire time.
Yes. Yes. So there were a couple little things that we missed that could heighten the relationship a little bit. What I thought
Soaking wet because I'm wearing a leather jacket and it's very hot.
yeah, it is. It is. I had to get rid of my traveler. Like, he's not crazy. That's a thing that he does. Mom knows that he does it. It's a part of his job, and everyone in the family believes it, but she doesn't get to go with him. I think there's something very interesting to that. So what got missed was your dad's a time traveler, and he missed going to a concert with you. What's the logical move there?
Just travel back in time.
Travel back in time and deal with that, right? And so we want to really hyper listen to realize, like, from your character's point of view, and then maybe he won't let you. Maybe, I don't know, maybe it's too dangerous because you might run into each other, or like I don't know. Like, there's so many possibilities there. And then maybe a fight would erupt. Like, it's too dangerous to bring you with me in time. And then we fight. But because that moment didn't happen, then it became, yes, I'll bring you back in time with me, which is cool. And then we went backwards again, and we're like, yeah, but not to that time. So if we went down the direction we went down, you want to be okay with the 80s, excited about the 80s, and take her with you. And honestly, what I would have done, and I was about to do, would be just go, okay, show me the 80s. And you guys are now in the 80s together, in a screen together, right?
Right. I was almost certain that Alicia was going to call me on it, like call me like BS that I'm a time traveler. So my mind was kind of set on that. But this was a good exercise because I wasn't expecting that.
That's
so
right.
that got me,
Yes, absolutely. It's so good because we plan, right? We want the scene to go a certain direction, and then when it goes a different direction, we've got to be willing to bend to that new direction. And the beauty of that is that's what sets you up to now have a really powerful daughter-father relationship here, and that's what we're actually interested in. And the comedy comes from the fact that you're a time traveler, and that's normal. That's another version of game. Dad is a time traveler, and we all know it. Cool. That's funny because you're playing it like he went to a business meeting at his tech company and he missed your concert because he was there. Like, it wasn't weird at all. And so now that becomes funny to us because you're playing it just as real. It's like in Toy Story, we believe the toys. Toys don't talk. But we believe they do because they gave them personalities. In the same way, you've now made something that's ridiculous just truth, and now we believe it. If we as actors believe something, the audience immediately believes it along with us. It's that simple. So actually, this was a really good scene. There were some really good moments. Those are literally just the one spot where it went off track a little bit. And now you know why, Nick. So now you know, oh, okay, it was because of that. Let me release that and just say yes to Alicia completely and see where we can take this scene together.
Are we going to have or Alicia and I going to be in a scene next week again, or are we going to?
Possibly. These characters are done for this week. So next week will be a whole new set. The goal going into next week is I'm giving you nothing. So next week it's going to be ready, set, go. Don't know who you're going to be with. Connect, go. Connect, go. Like when we hit the stage and just do those connect, go exercises. Like that. So this will be the last week for these two characters. Yeah. Okay. Very good work, guys. Nice.
Yeah, good job, Alicia.
Good job.
Alrighty. Next up, we've got.
Let's bring it to the roots.
Bring it to the
roots. Bring it to the roots. Bring it to the roots.
Bring it to the roots.
I would usually put you guys in 2 rooms, but you're together, and I wanted to see you guys perform together. So while they're coming in, the lesson here was, twofold, okay, for the audience. One, when we bring something into a scene, a really crazy, wild idea, if the improvisers believe it, can now become truth. So a time machine and a time traveler can be absolute truth if all the characters buy in to believe it. If one character says that's not true, it's no longer the case. So know that anything you say, as long as we say yes to it, the audience will believe us as it's going on. Hey, guys.
Hi.
I'm glad you're back. Yay! Okay, so next week we'll be putting you guys in separate scenes, but this week I wanted to see you guys perform together because we miss you. So, yeah, some of that. So, what are our characters that we came up with?
Do you want to go?
Okay, so my character's name is Tucker Wales. I don't open any notifications, so it looks like I am too cool for everyone. And I only talk to people who are shorter than me and that have over 1,000 followers on Instagram.
Okay, and Isabel?
All right. My name is Camly Jean. Okay.
Camly? Can you spell that?
Camille.
Okay, and Jean?
Jean, yes.
Isn't,
I'm into
isn't that just
quadrobics.
Camille?
No, it's
What?
Camly. Camly.
Camile?
Like Cammy, but you add a Lee.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I get it, but
I like
that's
it.
just Camille.
No, it's Camly. Camly.
All right.
No, it isn't.
Joey, just
You don't
stop
even
it.
know.
So we got Camly Jean, and tell me about Camly Jean.
She's into quadrobics, so she's like a horse girl. Okay, like full on gallops in the hallways sometimes, and she has a rolly backpack and hisses at people sometimes.
She hisses at people?
Like full on horse girl.
Okay, awesome.
Isabel, we said you had to play a character.
Shut up, Joey. Shut up.
Joey loves making fun. Stop playing with the buttons.
I don't know. It's pretty great.
You hit all three at once.
It's kind of great.
So now, how do these guys know each other?
I was thinking maybe she knows me.
Or like we go to the same school.
Okay.
Right?
Maybe she's hissed at me in the hallways sometime.
So now we have to come up with a reason that they would be in the same room together, know each other, know something going on. Again, because otherwise it's going to end up you not wanting to talk to her and her just like being super weird, right? So what's a reason? Let's try and find one. It's so fun because here's the thing. These two characters are so very different. They are. So the obvious choice is you don't like her, stay away from me, I'm weird. Like, that's the obvious. All of those character traits are going to come into the scene somehow. But I want you to get creative. Why would they be in the same room together? Why would they want to? Why would they know each other?
Okay.
Wait, so like we're in the same room, like we're
Uh-huh.
trying to be? Like, wait, you said
Possibly.
why they want to? Okay.
Yes, I would be interested in finding a reason why.
Maybe we got put together
Well,
for a
don't
school
say
project.
it.
No, I want to know why. I want to know the
Oh,
why here.
oh,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
thought you were like, just go.
Yeah,
Okay.
school project. Okay, school project. Okay. What I don't know is right now, like where you guys are at in this situation, because we don't want to like talk about the school project right away and do with that. Like you can frame the project, but know that we don't want that to be the main part of this. Okay.
Yeah.
So now we know the project's going on. That's all we know. We know what type of characters you are. One of you is going to start with a very strong initiation that's going to let the other know how you feel about this project or about the other person. Okay? And we'll start from there. All right. Here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, action.
I feel like, we've been working together for a little bit. I feel like our friend groups would collide together well.
No.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like we crash each other, but in a good way.
Dude, you almost bit my friend.
You don't understand how quadrobics works.
What do you mean?
You've got to invest in the horse. The horse is you. And I think we can get along.
We can get along if you invest in being a human.
You're making me a little mad.
Dude, I kind of just want to get this over with and leave.
I know.
You seem nice and all, but you're kind of whack.
That's what your other friends said about me too.
Good. Let's go back for a second. He says you're kind of whack. Instead, take it emotional about him calling you that. Because, yeah,
Okay.
the friends can do it, other people can do it, but when he does it, it hurts.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's go back and say that again, Wyatt.
Dude, you're kind of whack.
I thought I thought you were okay with me. I mean, we're like working together, you know.
Listen, I'm okay with you doing the project, and I'm okay getting the good grade. I don't ever see us hanging out.
I thought we'd be friends. I always work with people in projects and I get their numbers.
Listen, maybe, just maybe, if you get me to an A, you can sit 3 tables away from my lunch table. Only on Wednesdays.
What about an A plus?
Yes.
Oh, same thing. Okay. I mean, I thought we could like hang out.
Oh, see, these days, the trends are kind of like looks. So if I look at you at lunch, better than hanging out.
Oh.
So Wednesdays.
Wednesdays. Okay.
Okay, can you do the project now?
Yep.
Scene. Yes. Yes.
So hard not to laugh.
Oh, I bet it was so hard.
I was waiting for the hiss.
I
did hiss. You not hear me?
Yeah, I heard it.
Oh,
I
I didn't
yeah.
hear it.
It was like subtle. It was like a subtle little.
It was like a little twitch.
Okay, so gosh, it felt good, right?
Mm-hmm.
So here's the thing. It was obvious to go with "I hate you."
Yeah.
Like you're super annoying, and I'm just super weird, and it'd be cool to hang out with you, right? So what becomes interesting is now we found something that we're both interested in. Now, I don't like your character, Wyatt. As a person, I'm like, dang, that guy's mean, right? You're supposed to be that guy. You're playing that guy. And so I felt for Isabel's character. Like I felt for this little dorky girl who just wants a friend. And I'm like, I'm so mad at you for manipulating her. I'm so mad at you. But then what happened is because of that, every line Isabel said was making me laugh. Because she'd say things like, she's like, well, what about an A+, you know? And you're like, yeah, that's great too. And she's like, no, I mean like, I thought he'd get something else from that, you know? And like just watching her continue to try and build the friendship and watch you see how I can, and then you tricked her. You literally tricked her into thinking looking at each other was a friendship. Like, so that you could get what you wanted. Which again, that's life. People do that. There are people, like, this happens at schools, like guaranteed. And all you're doing is heightening it. You're heightening it and heightening the characters a little bit and finding the comedy, finding the game within it. So then it's about like finding even more ways, if we were going to have more scenes with these two or building, what other things could you try and manipulate out of her? And then eventually, if this was a play, like she'll figure it out at some point. She'll figure it out at some point and we'll have that character redeemed and somehow you're going to get in big trouble. And that's what we want as an audience, right? And so it's super cool. So all this stemmed from, though, making the choice, I'm not going to go with the obvious.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to go with the obvious. I have to find a common interest here instead of just fighting.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Good work, guys. Nice.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good to have you back. Woo!
Hey. Woo! Oh.
All right.
Next up and last of the night before we all come back together, we've got George and Connor, a.k.a. Jacques Soufflé and Lovey Schaefer. Jacques Soufflé and
Been waiting for
Lovey
this one
Schaefer.
all night.
Is that why you saved it for last?
100%. Yes.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. There have been so
spectacular.
many costumes
Spectacular.
tonight.
Spectacular.
I don't see anything.
So, George, you're flipped sideways, so you want to flip it.
I know. Here, let me
I
turn
don't
it.
see anything.
Hold on 1 second. We're getting it
Okay.
fixed.
Okay.
All right. Where's your beret there, George?
Oh, it might appear.
Ah, it might appear. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So we've got two essentially people who run some form of restaurant. Yours is a donut shop, and his is a what is it again, George?
French bistro.
French bistro. George is a ladies' man, and we know that about him. So I want to see how this scene goes. I'm very curious. How might these two know each other?
Connor is Bubby, right?
Yeah.
How do you spell
Yeah, I'm
that?
Bobby.
Bobby.
No, Bubby. B-U-B-B.
B-U-B-B. Bobby. Maybe we met at cooking school?
Okay, we met at cooking school. Yeah, and we're
Yes.
connecting. We're connecting back together. I love that. All right, here we go. The scene will begin in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Bobby, I have missed you.
George? Oh, George, you haven't changed this.
His name's
A
Jacques.
single.
Jacques.
Jacques
Sorry.
You're
Souffle.
confusing me. You're confusing me with Georges or Lafitte. No, this is Jacques Souffle.
Oh, Jacques Souffle.
Mais oui.
I
It is good to see you again. It is good to see you again.
Jackie.
Remember when we met at the cooking school, La Grande Pouf?
Yes, Le Grand Pouf, I couldn't forget. You used to chop up the butter so well.
Yes, to make the pate.
Yeah, the pate is my favorite. Your pate, nobody makes a pate like you, Jacques.
Oh, Bobby, it is so good to see you again.
It's good to see you too.
I could use your advice, your wise advice. I am engaged with a small love triangle at my restaurant. I am seeing a couple of the waitresses at the same time.
Jacques. 2 of them at the same time? Don't they call that
No.
an Eiffel Tower?
It's Bobby. It's 3 waitresses. The
3?
beautiful. That's
I
right.
think they call that the Notre Dame.
Well, or the Eiffel Tower of Love.
Oh, Jackie. Didn't you used to date the cooking instructor? Mademoiselle Bistro?
Mademoiselle Bistro. She always smelled like a fine 1955 Chateau Big Feet Rothschild. It was wonderful.
You know I don't touch that stuff. But what's going on with this love triangle? Is one of them pregnant?
Well, yes, one is pregnant, but I am not sure of the paternity. And the other 2, Renee and Boom Boom, seem somewhat jealous.
Boom Boom? Does she got the boom boom? I mean, Jacques, what is going on with this?
Well,
One of them's pregnant. Which one's pregnant?
Claudette.
Claudette. Oh my gosh.
Mhm.
Well, this is what you need to do. Make sure your wife doesn't find out. But you have different rules in France. I can't tell you. I mean, you can date multiple girls in France. That's what I hear, at least.
It is so. It is so. My amour, my wife is she's a long-suffering companion, but it is not uncommon. No.
She still have that back problem that she had back in cooking school. You know what I'm
She
talking
did.
about?
She did. That is unfortunate. She was at one time known as the hunchback of Le Grand Pouf. It is unfortunate, but she's doing much better now. Thank you.
Yeah, good, good. Yeah, Lou's still alive. I know you didn't ask, but he's still alive.
Is Lou you with you at the donut shop today?
No, Lou is he's in bed right now. He's
Aw.
probably watching Wheel of Fortune.
Watch the wheel go around and round, like
Yeah.
love.
Well, you don't have a wheel, so your wheel has fallen off. I don't know what we can call what you've got going on.
The wheel is a little wobbly, but it has not fallen off.
That's what you say.
But Booby, tell me more about Lou.
Head scene. I'll stop it there. Okay. Good, guys. Wow, Connor. Way to commit to the costume. You are a totally different person. It is insane. Tennis balls. That's amazing.
Well, they're grapefruit.
so grapefruit, is it? Oh, yeah. Even better. Tell me about how it felt. Yes, I guessed the wrong thing. Tell me about how it felt.
Good.
It felt very interactive.
Okay.
Yeah. I feel like we're both were quick, not necessarily quick on our toes in a bad way, but we knew how to go back and forth with each other pretty well. It felt natural, not forced.
Totally. It felt super natural bouncing back and forth. So I was very interested in their relationship as well, sort of. So there were a couple teeny moments that were missed. Did you hit on him earlier in the beginning?
Yes. I was like trying to be shy and like, oh my goodness.
Did you notice that, George?
It went over my head.
Okay, cool. So I want you to just be aware when you watch back. I want you to notice there was a moment where she was very clear. And you were jumping into, and this happens very easily, especially with both of you, because again, you are very quick-witted, both of you. You're both very funny. You throw something out there, and both of you can make me laugh very easily. But the problem with that is it makes us go a little fast. So what happened was, George, she was starting to send you a cue, and then you were jumping on the next thing already. And so there was this moment where she was like, really? Just sort of sending you that energy. And either way, I wanted to know how you felt about it. Probably this guy would have ran with it. Probably.
All over, yes.
100%.
Yes, definitely.
And so I was kind of dying to see that happen. As a matter of fact, we do have a minute here. I would love to see just a minute of that happen. So let's go back to that really, really quick and see where this scene goes.
Very good. Bobby, you were looking enchanting this evening.
Jackie, is that you? I recognize that hat.
MAYE, do you remember when we first met at Le Grand Pouf cooking school?
I'll never forget the day I met you. I asked to borrow your spatula.
Yes, my spatula. And the sauce was dripping down. And it touched your petite hand.
Well, Jackie, I don't know if you forgot, but I've got some grand hands.
Good.
I think you're thinking of Eleanor. That was
no. Go back. That's a denial. Be careful with that. So what's happened here is he's built up energy, and he's actually using the sauce and the stuff as a form of sexual talk. Okay. It's an innuendo, basically, right? So be aware of that. Play it. That's a game. That's the same thing as the spy game earlier with killing with Dakota. That's what you guys are sort of doing here over the phone. Okay. So let's go back to the sauce thing really quick.
Okay.
And the sauce dribbled down the spatula on your hand.
on my hand. I remember.
The smell of the goose as it cooked, the aromas, your perfume. I remember so well, Bobby.
You're gonna get me in trouble. Lou's gonna hear us carrying it away over here.
Lou does not need to know.
I know what happens in France stays in France, but La Pouf is always there.
What happens in France stays in France, but what happens in the boudoir could be between us.
I remember you said to me, "Voulez-vous coucher avec moi ce soir?"
You moved like a chorus girl at
Yes. Do you feel how much more entertaining this is?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's all because in the other one, and it's really simple. What happened is because we missed that small cue, the other one we started talking about outside things. So we're talking
Right.
about a girl that we don't really care about, and this love triangle we don't care about. So we're learning more about each character, but not building together. And so watching
Got it.
you guys talk about your history and building that, and now flirting with each other, and I'm gonna get in trouble, and like all that is so interesting to us. And so that's why, and it's so challenging, and that's why this video thing can be so great for us, because you have to really hyper listen. And we do the same thing on stage. Doesn't matter. That's the whole thing. It doesn't matter what the medium is. Stage, script, film acting, like whatever it is, this type of acting, you have to pay attention to every subtle little thing and build on that, right? And so when you can learn to pay attention even deeper to those small things, you're just going to then run with it, George, and do what you do and have us laughing our asses off at what you're doing.
Okay.
Okay, very good,
Okay.
guys. All right, let's bring everybody else back in.
Sounds good. Should I mute everybody as they come in?
Yeah, just because they're live, and then we'll unmute it in a second. So we're gonna mute everybody as they come in really quick, and then we'll unmute you in just a second.
He's all
Everybody come on in.
muted. I will unmute you
And
all.
thank you to all of our viewers online who are watching along with us. Thank you.
Yeah,
We're going to
yeah.
now wrap up with some questions here and also just go through lessons learned. So feel free to jump into the chat if you have any questions as well, and we'd be happy to answer those as well. Okay, so Joey, why don't we go ahead and unmute everybody now?
Alrighty. Everybody's been unmuted.
Okay, so let's go around. Let's talk about it. I'd love to hear our takeaways from tonight.
As well.
Let's raise our hands and I'll call on people. Dakota, yeah.
If everyone on stage says yes to an idea, then the audience will believe that idea more.
Absolutely.
And then that will become truth, more or less.
Absolutely. And it doesn't matter what the idea is. That's the beauty of it. Anything goes. Yeah. Tyler.
I would just say there's so many ways that you can take what is being said to you. And as a character, just like when you choose one, fully commit to that one that you choose.
That's absolutely right. And that's the creativity of the actor, right? Like we get to decide what those things are and what those point of views are and then play those out. Cool. What else? Yeah, Isabel.
This is I'm like new to this kind of like the character stuff. It's like it being on camera in general is just weird for me doing this, but I think it's just like being okay with that is helpful, and then B, what was I gonna say? So when we, what was I gonna say? Shoot.
I can come back with the B.
Yeah, come back with the B.
So let me talk about the A really quick.
Yeah,
So
okay.
how often are you doing things like this, where you face camera and do like improv in this kind of way?
Never.
Okay, start doing it. Start doing it not just in class. I would encourage you, again, I've told you this multiple times, but you guys have a great gifting in that you have each other. Like, I'm serious, there are very few, like, and some of us have in our families, and families like to do improv, or they'll do it with us because they love us, but they don't necessarily love it the way that we do, right? And you have that gift, like I have that with Joey, like we get to do improv together, and that's such a gift that I would practice, because I know both of you want this and you both love acting. Practice putting up your camera in that way, putting up your camera like that, and do it like it's a scene. Like practice every single day. Just throw it up and do like 15 minutes to get together. Do some improv scenes. You might be surprised that 15 minutes might turn into an hour and a half some days of you guys just doing characters and having so much fun together. Cool.
I remember my B.
Okay, what's your B?
Okay, so when doing scenes, not to go with exactly what's the obvious, because it makes it more interesting and it leads to more of a relationship based. So that was my B.
Absolutely. And in any situation, think of it this way: the audience already went to the A. They already went to the obvious. So when you go with the not obvious choice, then they're like, oh, and that's when you get those big laughs or those moments from them, right? Cool. Nick, I saw your hand up.
So, hyper listening, like you mentioned, Alicia threw that great thing out there about the concert, and that was a great thing if I would have caught that as a time traveler. But sometimes I notice when if I'm jumping into it and my nerves are a little high, you know, I won't be able to think through things quick enough, and that's something I need to work through.
Sure.
And, I guess going through to practicing, if you don't have anybody to practice with, do you have any suggestions for somebody that is kind of by themselves, like that wants to practice improv?
Yes, there's all kinds of exercises for that. We worked through some of those, like with the character gauntlet.
Right.
You can do the top 10, pulling it out of the hat. You can write out stories for characters and just get yourself in the mindset. Initiations were a big theme tonight. Initiations are huge. So think about it this way. I love writing out initiations. I love it. And you don't need anybody for that. So I sit down and I start writing out initiations like that I would want to be a part of. Like I thought of this in the teen class. John, I'm so sorry that you didn't get into Harvard, man. Like, boom. If I'm that other person on the other side, I'm so psyched because you just told me the kind of person I am. And you gave me my feeling that I'm experiencing right now. And you told me how you feel about me. That laid off so much groundwork. So in every scene, we want to have a who, what, where that we can figure out. And if you can write out a bunch of initiations that you would be excited to receive, you're going to get really good at initiating your scenes really quickly. And honestly, the best scenes start from a really good initiation, one that sets the framework for the entire scene. So that's a huge thing, is writing that out. And then my last thing I'd say to you is actually you're not alone because of this technology, because of the time we live in. So honestly, I'd reach out to other classmates. I'd find somebody to just do stuff with. I mean, I know you and Dakota are friends, so I would totally like set something up with him at least.
He's not my friend. I'm just kidding.
Oh,
He's
really?
my friend.
Gosh, ouch, hurtful. That sound effect was great. That was a good one. No, but really, I mean, we think we are, but we're not. Like, that's the thing. It's just different. The settings are different. So I would say in those settings, try and set it up where you can do improv with somebody and grow in that way.
Excellent.
Cool. Of course. What else do we take away? Yeah, Mom.
Well, I think the part where you don't want to give maybe too much information, even if your character would usually do that. Like Southern, I studied a lot about the Southern this week, you know, and trying to get the accent because I'm not really that great at accents. I never really had to do much of them. And then when I did that scene, all the ones that I watched on videos, they just talk. And they're really nice, and they just went on. So I just figured I was supposed to talk and go on. So
sure,
but
yeah, that's an
Tyler.
awesome.
Tyler gave me the framework of what I was supposed to be, which helped out a lot because that wasn't what I had in my mind that I was going to be.
And that is the beauty of improv. That's it. You know, you come in understanding the kind of character you are, the point of view you have. You fully trust your partner, and then you let them give you ideas and frame you, and you say yes to them. And that's the thing I love about improv, is it's literally not possible for me to come up with the kind of ideas we can come up with together. Collectively, we are so much better than we are alone. And that's a life thing. I mean, collectively, in groups and connecting with each other, we're able to come up with ideas and grow in ways that we literally are unable to do alone. We're able to support each other and help each other. And when you do that in improv, that's when scenes like yours can thrive. So that's great. I absolutely love that. Truman, yeah.
I just wanted to say sorry to Hannah. I wasn't really fully into it today, and I couldn't give like my all. So I'm sorry about that.
What do you mean?
I just I feel like I couldn't connect very well today. Like I feel very like mentally and emotionally drained, so I couldn't like put myself into the scene.
That's okay, man. There's going to be nights where that happens.
Yeah.
There's going to be times when that happens. So way to bring it to light, because you can just send joy and love your way, right? But it's going to happen. And so my encouragement to you in there is you actually had a really good scene. You had a really good scene. So be encouraged by your scene. I'm sure Hannah would tell you the same thing. Right, Hannah?
No, but what I wanted to say was it's like a little different on like the little screen. Because when you walk into like, you do your little improv, you can kind of like get the vibe but like it's just kind of like here's a little
Yeah.
emotionless, you know, kind of like
Yeah.
little memento, kind of. Yeah.
Yeah. I see what you're saying.
We're just doing
So-
improv through an emotionless box. that was deep.
I'd like to elaborate on that actually in two ways. So first off, Truman, again, way to bring it to the light, because now we can again send you joy and do that. And I'd encourage you to look at it this way: when you walk in, wherever mood you're in, go, I'm so excited right now to give to my partner right now, and to give into that, and remind yourself this is my joy, you know. And if you need a minute, right, take it beforehand. Like take a second to, like, in between classes, if you think I just like go right to the next one, you're crazy. I have to take a little like meditation at certain points in the day. I have to, like, because my brain gets in certain states, and some days more than others. Some days it's go, go, go. It's like I gotta stop for 15 minutes and just go meditate right now. I gotta go breathe. I gotta go pray. And literally I come back and I got 10 times more energy than if I had 3 cups of coffee. So sometimes it just takes that moment. So I'd encourage you to find time to breathe and like zone in to yourself, and I think that will help a lot. And then whatever state you're in from whatever day, you'll be able to reframe yourself into the best state you could be in.
Yeah.
And then jumping on over what Hannah said, it is more challenging. There's no doubt about that. It is more challenging. But if you look at it this way, you can learn new skills in this way. If you can learn to adapt and pay attention to all the subtle things, imagine how much easier it's going to be when you're standing opposite me.
Yeah.
But I fully believe if you're really, really listening, you will notice everything about the other person, and you'll be able to see the details, hear the details, and build upon those details and have thriving scenes in this environment. And I'm telling you, this is a new medium that's just going to keep growing, because this virus brought it out, and it brought it out in a way where people like my grandma who've never touched technology are now FaceTiming with me and Joey at night. Like, there are things that have been brought out that people are advancing crazily in technology, and we can only expect that our industry will do the same. So get really good at this, because when we get back to the stage, Hannah, you'll be 10 times better because of it.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, what else? Any other takeaways from tonight? George, yeah.
I learned a good lesson tonight. So when I come to improv, I try to have a few ideas in my head so that I litter them around to pick them up when I need them in a scene. But it can be a bit of a trap, because you want to trust your character and then interact. And I had a really good, lively scene partner tonight in Connor, and just trusting that we would be interacting, then there are things to pick up from that. So it was a good lesson.
Absolutely. And I noticed, was there like a paper near you or something?
Yes.
And it had some of the details on it?
Yeah, some of the details. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So going into next week, and this is what's going to be so great. Next week is total scenes just like this. We're going to get going right away into scenes, except no preparation whatsoever. So you're going to have to do the same thing, create these kind of characters on the spot, and just create right away. Figure out a framework right away, and that's where those initiations are going to come in. And then trust each other. Like, trust that you're going to have a partner like Connor that's going to give you gold, and you guys are going to be able to feed off each other. And if you do make a mistake, George, we're going to roll with it. Like, my best improv moments have come from me saying something stupid on accident and Matt and Joey riffing on it. And for a while, I didn't like that, and I used to get annoyed with it. And then as soon as I let that go, I became so much funnier on stage, because I just leaned into it. I let them lean into it, and the audience loved it and ate it up.
Yeah, you're at the bottom of the friend pyramid.
Bottom at the friend pyramid. Bottom of the friend pyramid. Absolutely. If you saw our Boondock show last year, you'll know that that is a reference. All right. Sarah, wow. Sarah, I saw your hand up. Where'd my water go?
Yeah. Well, first of all, I know Matt said last week he was going to talk about camera angles and like showing different personalities or character traits through that. So it was a neat surprise that we got to do these scenes with our characters tonight. That was fun. And I felt like I learned sometimes it feels kind of awkward to talk about the relationship and your feelings. and we feel really tempted to talk about this stuff and things, but it's so much more satisfying to talk about the feelings and the relationship in the end.
Absolutely. And again, when we do that, it sets up our partner to build upon that, for both of us to now have a full understanding of how the other person feels. And then we can build a really powerful scene, an emotional scene from that place. Whereas when we're just talking about the stuff, that's the obvious answer. Going all the way back, do we want to go obvious answer? Or do we want to go with something that's going to shock up the audience's emotions and change their energy? Because we're not used to that. Like, as human beings, we're not used to just stating what's on our mind. So even just watching players on stage do that is like fascinating to us. Mm-hmm. That's awesome. I love that. Cool. We are right.
So, but do you know, is Matt going to teach us camera angles next week? Do you know?
I'll chat with him about that and see if he's planning on it. If he's not, then I'll throw it in and figure out what we can do with that. Yeah, because that'd be
cool.
I would absolutely love that. Like, even just looking at tonight, I would, like, thinking on some of these characters, like, you look at Hannah's, right, who's, like, terrified of the world or whatever. Like, she could be hiding in different spots at certain points, like when Truman scares her, right? She might go back behind here or take the phone with her into the bathroom because she gets really concerned about whether someone's watching. Like, those things we could definitely add to the table next week for sure. And I think that would be awesome. Honestly, I'm pretty sure it was just forgotten about. So we'll make sure to add that in. And so
yeah.
I love that idea. Absolutely love that. Yeah.
Thanks.
Nick.
So as I'm sitting here thinking, you know, I came up with this character kind of on the fly last week, and I'm starting to think, well, maybe he was a little too complicated, like a time traveling. You know, is that something I connect with? And then I was thinking, well, maybe I should change it, but maybe it'd be better to just work through it, even though, like, I mean, I'm not really comfortable with the character, but I guess should I be comfortable, or should I work into that character until I am comfortable? Whoops.
I think, well, every character is going to come from the spot. Honestly, guys, what tonight became for you, it was honestly kind of like a mini sketch class, like a sketch comedy class. You all came up with your own characters. You built them up and thought about them. We built up a history of them last week through our interviews, and some of us even dressed up. Like, that's what we were really doing. So we had a bunch of thoughts about them. We really knew the character. In a lot of improv, it's going to be on the spot. So, Nick, dealing with that, I think that's a great thing. You basically picked something that was uncomfortable. You picked something that was out there and going to be really challenging, honestly. And so I would say it's okay to go, like, that character doesn't feel very normal to me. There's a lot of wildness to this character. Let me just explore it. Let me explore it. And I think what's happening is you were just getting in your head about the character. And that's something, you know, you're battling against. And you're getting so much better at, like, not feeling that way about yourself. But your ideas, the idea of a time-traveling person is brilliant, and I want to be in a scene with a time traveler who's grounded in time traveling and believes that he's a time traveler, and then I decide whether that's the case or not. But I want to be in a scene with that. Yeah, do I want to be in a scene with the dad, too, that's grounded? Sure, but that excites me. That excites me, and so I want you to get comfortable with playing more of those characters because your brain goes to those. You're very creative, and the stage needs it.
Facts.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Cool. Did we have any webinar questions?
We did. We had one. I will say it. Okay.
Joey will speak it.
Yes. This is from Michael Jung. He says, I'm curious, what if one of the characters in the scene what if only one character in the scene thinks they have a relationship, but the other character doesn't have a shared history with his/her partner? Would that work as an exercise? So basically, one person in the scene thinks it's one way, the other one doesn't, and they have to play it from there.
I think it could be an interesting exercise as a challenge to deal with, because I think that will happen on the improv stage. I mean, you're not always going to be paired with somebody in improv that knows what they're doing. A grounded improviser will know and understand that relationship is key. Relationship is absolutely key, and there's going to be points where that's not the case. So honestly, in a regular setting, if one person didn't have the relationship, it would be on the person who has an idea for a relationship to really push that relationship and let the other person know that that's the case through framing. Ideally through framing. Because I mean, again, you go into a beginning scene. If I do something and I'm like, Dad, it's really good to see you, and they're like, I don't know what you mean. I'm not your dad. Okay, that's like a full-on denial. You do have to deal with that. So if we were on a performance stage and that happens, now you get creative and have to justify why they said that. I know you don't think you are, but you've got Alzheimer's. I do not. And it's like, that's a sad scene, but like I've now justified why he doesn't think he's my dad. So you would find a way to justify. So it could be a very cool exercise, but the goal would be to figure out why there actually is a relationship if you were going to do it as an exercise like that. Very good question. Cool, guys. Well, awesome class tonight. Really appreciate all of you. Again, we're going to build into some rapid scenes next week of just allowing us to go right off of the spot. We'll play with some camera angles. I absolutely love that. Thank you for that reminder, Sarah. And as we go into that, I'm going to close out class. You guys will have some time to just kind of hang, say goodbye to each other. And this will be here for you until the last person logs. So see you guys. Thank you. Have a great night. So much fun.
Thanks, Brian.
Thank you.
Thank you, Brian.
Bye.
Bye.
Go Cardinals.
Goodbye, everyone.
Love you, Joey. Bye. Bye, Brian. Bye, Joey.
Bye.
Oh my gosh, you all freaking killed it tonight.
Well.